I have said and regurgitated things I've heard in the past from other people. Welcome to the Okie Woodsman channel. My name is Joe and we are running this STIHL 500i in wood for the first time. I'm super excited and I'm going to be paying attention to how this saw is going to run and different techniques of running it. As I mentioned on the unboxing video, this saw is completely stock and I intend on leaving it that way with the exception of a potential muffler mod in the future. I started this saw about 20 minutes ago. I'll go ahead and pump the primer bulb, pull it over and see how it runs. All right, so we're gonna just pump this a few times. Remember, there's no on switch on this saw because it's always available. Nice. We're gonna let this saw warm up as I gear up for safety. We're gonna start over on the smaller wood. The cool thing is I don't have to measure on this job, and so I'm super thankful just to get to cut. This is my first cut with the 500i stock. I'm still learning the characteristics of this saw, so as I run it more, I'll get a little bit smoother, I hope. We're 30 minutes in right now. We're gonna talk a little bit about my opinion. Just initially, this is the first 500i I've ever ran stock. I think it runs like a scalded dog, but I think it needs a little bit of break-in time. We'll see what it does in the long run. This is dry, dead oak. It's super hard. I don't have a clue what the fuel's looking like in that saw. I haven't even looked at it yet, but I have said and regurgitated things I've heard in the past from other people, and even like my 460 runs out of fuel seemingly pretty quickly, but this is all one tank so far, and to me, from an operator standpoint, the fuel consumption seems totally fine. I wasn't going to compare this unless I dulled that chain, but now that I've run that for a little bit, I really want to see how this 7310 feels and runs. The bar on this, if this had a light bar on it, it would feel much better. The 500i's been heat soaking for a little bit, so I'm gonna pick it up and start it. It's probably been sitting for, I don't know, 10-15 minutes. That's awesome. That's awesome. Now you can just not fast idle it or whatever. You just pull it and it runs. Awesome. Great job, Iowa Performance Saws. I mean, I'm telling you, this saw just feels good. The power band is awesome. Awesome. Wow. Wow, that's a bad cut. That saw's good. It's really good. I'm gonna fuel up the 500i and cut again with it. I'd say we're about 80% empty, so we'll top it off before we start our next cutting session.
Yeah, I was telling Cody, I think that second saw cut better than the first one.
That's do you mind if I use that voice in a video, sir?
That's fine.
All right, very cool. Cheapest bar oil right there, MFA.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
How much is it?
It was like $6. $6 or $6.50 or so. It is thin. I do want to mention again that I think that the fuel economy was great on it. I don't feel like it ran out particularly quick. I was kind of wondering if it'd run out halfway through, so that beat the expectations that I had. Now, I will say this, unless this saw wakes up significantly, the 7310 feels relatively comparable after it's been ported. Now, I know that this saw is brand new and it needs to break in, but we're talking about a fuel injected saw at a similar weight, and I still love it. I'm not saying I don't like it, all you STIHL fans out there, but it might end up with a muffler mod, and I was trying to keep it stock, but I'm going to keep running it for a while. I'm not going to just change things right off the bat because I really want to get a good, accurate representation over time. So after fueling this up, let's see if it runs. Can't beat that. crap is a pain. I need a bigger hook. Now we're gonna go 7310. It's been sitting for however long I've been running that. I am gonna fast idle this because it's gonna need it probably. I cut that one twice, essentially. Both saws do pretty well. I think that the 7310's power band is a little bit easier to run. It's more forgiving. It's got more low end. I think we'll attack this with the 500i. Been talking, resting, shooting the breeze for, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes or so, maybe 30 minutes. I'm gonna try to start this STIHL without doing anything but pulling the pull cord. Pull start. We're not talking about parachutes. Okay, we gotta do this here. There might be metal in this, so we'll see if we find anything. Somebody told me that if you put sawdust between them, they stick together better. See if that works. So far so good. Wow. That's just enough friction. Cool, I didn't know that. Thank you for whoever told me that. Ah. There we go. Done. All right. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we can get this to roll. At least it does have a hold. There you go. Perfect. Before we get to the conclusion of this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, like, and subscribe. Let me know how things are going down in the comment section. I can gather a couple things. For this type of work, I knew this, but I did it anyway. The full wrap is a pain in the neck when you're trying to limb up a hardwood log, try to smooth against the body of the trunk. This is just in the way. I'm not looking to trade it off right now. That's not what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna probably hang on to it for a little while because I do wanna use this saw to fall trees as well, and that's why I wanted it. But for firewood on a setup like this, this was a nuisance. It was probably the most difficult thing I dealt with today. Now, in terms of performance, I'm super happy with how far the fuel went. I have stated that the fuel economy is bad on these things because I've heard that. I now experienced it and I don't feel as if that's the case. I really don't feel as if that's the case. I think that I cut plenty of wood on this tank of gas and this tank of oil. So that's actually a pleasant surprise, and that's one of the things I was concerned with. So that has been squashed, and that's at least while it's stuck. It feels very steel. It feels exactly like a steel chainsaw. There is a feel to each brand, especially when you stick to the core of them, like the 5 Series Huskies and even the lesser expensive Huskies. They all feel like the same manufacturer. This feels like a 661, like a 461, like a 441. Those are all saws that I've run. It feels like it. Now, of course, there's a difference in power, and I do like the fuel injection. That works really nicely. Actually, I am curious to see what the air filter looks like on this. We're not going to bother looking at the 7310 because we already know what the results are going to be on that. Let's see what this one looks like, everybody. How does it look? We've got some chips in there. Let's see what we got. It looks clean on the intake side. We've got some chips in that, but that's with 2 tanks in hardwood. I don't think that's bad. I'm looking forward to running this saw some more. Do I regret buying it? No, because I generally don't buck wood this size. This is pretty good size. Now, I do buck it relatively regularly, more than I think I do, I guess, because It seems like I've been doing it a lot recently, and most of the hardwood trees out here, if they've been a field tree like this one was, they're pretty large. I also wouldn't have wanted to carry a 592 around on this whole job. This saw feels similar in weight to the 7310. The biggest difference would be that light bar. So if I put this light bar on there, that saw would have felt just as good. And honestly, I would have liked it because it didn't have the full wrap. But in terms of my first brand new STIHL chainsaw that I've owned, I am super happy with it. Keep in mind, no matter what brand you like, you can buy this stuff at sawsuppliers.com using my discount code OAKIE10, OAKIE. It really doesn't matter. All the best equipment is there, whether it's Echo, Husky, or STIHL. And I think I'm really happy with this, and I think it's going to change if I put a muffler mod on there. Now, I did want to have a saw potentially that I was super thrilled with without any modifications, and I would say that this is a very good stock saw. Well, let's see here. There's this whole concept of, I'm not a timber faller. I am a firewood enthusiast, kind of just help the community out kind of guy. So I want to address, you know, cutting green trees is different than cutting dead hard oak. That's something important to distinguish. And when you're cutting with, you know, when you're making this many bucks, this is a lot of cuts, and you're not going to be sharpening your chain every couple bucks. And so I think that this saw did really well in its stock form. So I just wanna say that. Thank you again for watching the Okie Woodsman channel, and we will see you on the next one.